All right, hello everybody. This is Miss Scott again. We are going to go over the Hong Kong passport assignment. All right, number 1, it says type your answer in the blank using commas to separate the numbers. It says if f of x equals 4x minus 11, find the values of x for the domain of -3, 1, and 5. So essentially what this is saying, this is the same thing as y equals. I have to go to Desmos and type this in. After I type this in, I have to go to my table by clicking on the settings and on the table button. All right, and then I now have my table of 4x minus 11. And it's saying my domain, which are my x values, is -3, 1, and 5. So I type in -3, 1, and 5, and the numbers that pop up beside it are my answers. How to type this in is exactly how it says. Make sure you type it in, separating it by commas. All right, so that is evaluating a function. All right, number 2. Skipped over this one on accident. It says, what is the range of the function graph? Now, the range is always talking about my y values, okay? So let's take a look at this. My y values, well, I know it's y, but see how this one has the inequality signs? The only time that we would have an inequality sign is when there is a line connecting these points, and there isn't one. So I know that my answer is not going to be D. I know my answer is not going to be C, because C is talking about x's. And this is talking about my range. Now my range is where points fall on the y-axis. So I can see it falls on the 5, the 1, the -3, and -4. So 5, 1, -3, and -4. There we go. That is my range. Okay. Number 3. What value could we replace the question mark so that the relation is a function? Now, if you look over here, you have to remember that functions, they do not have repeating x's or repeating domains. The first number in a set of coordinate points is my x value. So I have to pick an answer choice that could replace this, but it cannot be a -5, so I know this isn't my answer. It cannot be a -1, and it cannot be a 4. So my answer would be 7. So 7 could go right here because it would not have any repeating x values. Number 4 says, which function has exactly 2 x-intercepts and 1 y-intercept? Now, if we look over here, we remember that linear, which is y equals ax plus b, which are problems like A and D, they will never have more than 1 x-intercept because it's a line. So this one right here is linear. There's no x-intercept. Linear, 1 x-intercept. Linear, 1 x-intercept. Linear, 1 x-intercept. So I know that if I have a linear equation, it will not have 2 x-intercepts. So I know my answer can't be A or D. Now when I'm talking about, quadratics, I need to put my squared there. That equation is y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. The main thing that's important is when you see an x squared, it's going to be a quadratic curve, such as b and c. Here's different examples of quadratics. I can have 1 x-intercept, I can have 2 x-intercepts, or I can have no x-intercept. So to find my answer, I'm going to type in answer choice B in Desmos. And when I do that, I have 1 x-intercept, 2 x-intercepts, and 1 y-intercept. And that's exactly what the question was asking. But let's look at the other answer choice too, just so we can eliminate it. This was the next answer choice. And I can see that it only has 1 y-intercept. It has no x-intercepts. Okay, so this right here would be my answer because it has 2 x-intercepts and 1 y-intercept. All right, which appears to be the range of the function graph. Now remember, domain is my x values, okay, and range is my y values. So I can mark off this answer choice, all real numbers, okay. And let's look at our quadratic. See how my quadratic is pointing down? These arrows are pointing down. That means that it is going to be less than or equal to, okay. Then you just see where the tip of the curve goes to on my y-axis, and it goes all the way up to 3. So for the range of this quadratic, it's going to be y is less than or equal to 3. Okay. Number 6. What are the x and y intercepts of x squared plus x minus 6? Now there's some things that I want you to remember. When a line intercepts the y-axis, it's a y-intercept, okay? And it'll have 0 in the number. If it intercepts the x-axis, it'll have your number and then a 0. That's an x-intercept. So I can see on my x-intercept number 0, number 0, number 0. Okay, that's all good. 0, number 0, no. Uh-oh, this says number 0. That cannot be a y-intercept, so I know that that's not going to be an answer choice. So let's just go ahead and cross out C. Okay. Now, what you would have to do is you would have to go and type in this problem in Desmos. Boom. Okay, I can see that it intercepts the x-axis at -3 and 2. So let's see if I can mark off anything. It crosses it at -3 and 2. All right, so nothing about a 6. I know that's not it. -3 and 2. Oh, and that says 3 and -2, so I know that's not right either. Okay, so there's my x-intercepts at -3 and 2, and I can just look at my y-intercept, and it crosses right here through 0, -6. Notice how I didn't click this right here. That's my vertex, and that is not important. We are talking about x and y intercepts, okay? All right, this one says, which is a function? Remember, a few slides back, it says functions cannot have repeating x's or repeating domains. Another way you can do this is the vertical line test. So pretend this is a really cool looking pencil. When I put my pencil in front of it, see how it only touches one time? If it only touches once, that means it only has one x value in that spot. So that means I don't have any repeating x's here. So this is a function, okay? So this one is a function. All right, let's move our pencil over here. See how no matter where I put it, it only touches or crosses through my pencil one time? That means it has no repeating x values. So this is also a function. If I put my pencil down here, I can see that it only intercepts in one spot here, one spot there, one spot there. So this one is also a function. Okay, let's take a look here. Uh-oh. See how right here it crosses my pencil once and twice. That means I have a repeating x value. So this is not a function. So my answer would be C. Number 8, which is a function. Again, functions, they cannot have repeating x values. So let's see, our x values here are 3, -4, 3. Uh-oh. This has a repeating x value of 3. So that can't be a function. All right, let's see. We got 3, 4, 5, and 6. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Oh, this looks good. I have no repeating x value, so this could be a function, but let's just keep checking. Let's use my vertical line test. Do you guys see how when I put my pencil over there, it's overlapping it an infinite amount of times? That's because I have an infinite amount of repeating x values. I believe this number is at 5. So this has an x value of 5, 5, 0, 5, 1, 5, 2, 5, 3. It's all repeating x values. So that cannot be a function. In D, I can do the vertical line test. See how when I do this, both of those points would touch my pencil? That's because they have repeating x values of -4. So that cannot be a function either. All right, I did go through that kind of fast. I do have a time limit on these videos that I make. So if you guys need to go back, make sure you go back, rewatch some things, pause it, send me an email. I'll write that for you again. It's Scott. Oh, no, it's not. It's ejscott@rcps.info. So if you have any questions, let me know. Bye.